The national movements in Odisha. The second half of the 19th century saw the growth of organized nationalist movements in India. This was due to the direct and indirect consequences of British rule, which provided the material, moral, and intellectual conditions for the development of nationalism. Odisha, as a part of India, also witnessed the growth of nationalism. This took two forms: the merger of all Oriya-speaking regions, and the involvement of the people of Odisha in the mainstream of the national movement. The nationalist movement in Odisha was led by a number of prominent figures, including Gopbandhu Das, Nilkantha Das, and Godavari's Misra. The movement was characterized by a number of different activities, including protests, boycotts, and strikes. The early phase of nationalist movement in Odisha. The elite class of Odisha was influenced by the nationalist movement in India and created political awareness in Odisha by forming socio-political organizations. These organizations disseminated political ideas among the Odiyas, and leaders like Madhusudan Das, Bakuntanath D, and Shyamsundar Raiguru provided guidance to them. With the establishment of the Indian National Congress, INC, in 1885, these leaders served as a link between the National Forum and Odisha. These organizations sent delegates to the annual sessions of the INC. On 3 March 1886, an open meeting was held in the building of the Cuttack Printing Company, which unanimously approved the resolutions passed in the first session of the INC, held at Bombay in 1885. Raja Bakuntanath attended the Calcutta session of the Congress in 1886 on behalf of the National Society of Balasore. In 1888, Madhusudan Das and Gauri Shankar Roy attended the Madras session of INC as delegates from Utkal Sabha. A meeting was held at Cuttack on 16 February 1888, which deputed Madhusudan Das to Kendrapara, where he exhorted the people to join the Congress. He was the pioneer in spreading the Congress ideas in Odisha. In 1895, Shyam Sundar Raiguru, the founder of the Utkal Hetesini Samaj of Parlakhemandi, had attended the Pune session of the Congress. These delegates on their return from the Congress session apprised the other members about the programs of the Congress. The early phase Odisha Congress. The Indian National Congress, INC, fascinated many Oriya intellectuals in the 19th century. These leaders were moderate in their political outlook and belonged to the English-educated elite class. However, they were unable to raise their voice in the annual proceedings of the Congress because of the high status maintained by the great nationalist leaders from Bengal. As a result, the problems of Odisha could not be placed in the Congress agenda for discussion. Only a total of 14 delegates from Odisha attended the annual sessions of the Congress on 6 occasions only from 1885 to 1900. Madhusudan Das realized the uselessness of the Congress as a political forum in Odisha. He thought that the Odiyas needed a regional association in order to express their identity and to give political education to the people of Odisha. He formed the Utkal Union Conference in December 1903 with the support from the intellectuals of Odisha. The moderate period of the nationalist movement in Odisha was led by Madhusudan and his associates like R.N. Bhanjdeo, Bakuntanath D, Harihar Panda, Brajsundar Das and Biswanathkar, etc. The Utkal Union Conference was a significant development in the nationalist movement in Odisha. It helped to raise awareness about the problems of Odisha and to unite the Oriya people. They had faith in the British Raj and appealed to the British sense of justice and fair play. Impact of Swadeshi Movement on Odisha. The Swadeshi movement started in Bengal in 1905 in protest against the partition of Bengal. The movement had a significant impact on the intellectuals of Odisha, who held protest meetings and spread the message of Swadeshi. Madhusudan Das gave a clarion call to the people of Odisha to boycott foreign goods and use indigenous goods. The message of Swadeshi also reached Balasore and Puri, where large public meetings were organized. In Sambalpur, Banpur, Sukinda and Basudevpur, weavers started manufacturing fine hand-loom textiles. Men and women of rich classes began to wear Berhampuri Pata and Manyabandha sari on festive and other occasions. Madhusudan Das set up Utkal Tannery and an art fair at Cuttack. An exhibition of indigenous goods was held in the Cuttack Town Hall on 7th August 1907 on the occasion of the anniversary of the Swadeshi Sabha at Calcutta. The Surat split of the Congress in 1907 weakened the moderates and brought a group of nationalists appeared under the leadership of Gopbandhu Das. Gopbandhu Das established Satyabadi Vana Vidyalaya at Sakhi Gopal, Puri, on the model of the Deccan Education Society. The establishment of Satyabadi School was a landmark in the evolution of national consciousness in Odisha. The teachers and alumni of this school proved themselves worthy citizens and made the people of Odisha politically aware about the national movement in India. A group of radical youths of Bengal started terrorist activities under the leadership of Jatindranath Mukherjee, popularly known as Bagha Jatin. They used Balasore and Kaptipada jungle areas as the basis to raid on British institutions. However, Bagha Jatin died in an encounter with the police while his friends Manoranjan and Hiren were hanged. In this context, three young men of Odisha, Atal Bihari Acharya, Shashank Mukherjee and Bairagi Tripathi were taken into police custody for having their connection with the Bengal terrorists. The period of post-World War I. The post-World War I period brought a radical change in the political scenario of India. The Indians had fought at the call of Gandhiji for the British victory in the war, with the expectation that the British would grant them substantial self-government in recognition of their services. A number of students of Ravenshaw College, led by Jadumni Mangaraj, joined the British Army to help the British in the war. However, the expectations of the Indians were not fulfilled. The impact of Khilafat Movement. The Khilafat Movement was a protest against the British government's treatment of the Ottoman Empire after World War I. The Ottoman Empire was a Muslim empire that had been the caliphate, or religious leader of the Islamic world, since the 13th century. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire was defeated and dismantled by the victorious Allied powers. The British government placed humiliating terms on the Ottoman Empire, which angered Muslims around the world. In India, the Khilafat movement was led by the Ali brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. The Khilafat movement was supported by many Muslims in India, including the Muslims in Odisha. In Odisha, a Khilafat committee was formed at Cuttack under the presidency of Akram Rasool. The Khilafat movement was a major factor in the growth of the nationalist movement in India. So, this is the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. To get the note of this video, scan the above QR code or check description to get the link. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day.